Trinidad on Friday the 30th of May 1845, carrying Indian indentured laborers. And over the next decades, more than 147,000 Indians came to Trinidad and Tobago, Surujdeo, and hundreds of thousands more to Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and other Caribbean islands. They brought with them languages, religion, music, cuisine, and most important, values, the living essence of any Indian civilization. Yet under the colonial rule, these traditions were marginalized. English became the dominant language, and Indian cultural practices were often dismissed as foreign. By the mid-20th century, Indo-Trinidadians recognized the urgent need to institutionalize cultural preservation. Out of this realization emerged the National Council of Indian Culture. You have heard so much about it before. And later, the Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated, also known as Hindi Nidhi, both dedicated to ensuring that the Indian spirit not only survived, but flourished in the Caribbean. The emergence of National Council of Indian Culture. The NCIC was founded in the year 1964, am I right, Hanraj? 1964 by a group of visionary leaders, including names like Dr. Bisram Gopi, Nasaru Ramaiya, Moin Muhammad, Dr. Hans Shambhu Hanuman Singh, Dr. Devkinandan Sharma, and other cultural advocates, and later others like our current High Commissioner to India, His Excellency Chandrarat Singh, and including Dr. Pandita, Dr. Indrani Ramprasad, and of course Himraj Ramdat. Those two are founding and lifetime members of this organization. Their goal was to create a national umbrella organization that would unify the various Indian cultural groups in Trinidad and Tobago and promote Indian art, philosophy, and traditions within a multi-ethnic society. And the timing was significant. Trinidad and Tobago had just gained independence in the year 1962. The NCIC sought to ensure that Indian heritage was recognized as an integral part of the new nation's identity, not confined to private religious spaces, but celebrated as part of the national cultural fabric. Now, the NCIC's role in culture preservation and promotion. Over the decades, the NCIC has become the premier cultural institution representing Indo-Trinidadian and Indo-Caribbean identity. Its work spans in 4 major areas. 1, cultural festivals. The NCIC's flagship event is Diwali Nagar, which began in the year 1986 and has grown into the largest Indo-Trinidadian cultural exposition outside of India. It celebrates the Hindu Festival of Lights while showcasing Indian music, dance, crafts, and of course, its cuisine. Most of you would have heard Trinidad is famous for its cuisine, roti, doubles. World famous now doubles. The event attracts over 200,000 visitors, and knowing Trinidad as a small country, just 1.4 million people during the 9-day period, including people of all ethnic and religious backgrounds. Trinidad being a multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious society, as mentioned by Professor G. Second was education and youth development. The NCIC runs workshops and classes in Indian classical music, dance, and art, nurturing a new generation of cultural ambassadors. And thirdly, preservation of heritage. Through archives, exhibitions, and oral history projects, the NCIC through the Heritage Center, this was established in 2017, documents the journey of the Indo-Caribbean community from indentureship to modern nationhood. We have hosted 3 international conferences on topics related to the Indian diaspora, and some of you sitting here would have attended more than one, I'm sure of that. And fourthly, intercultural dialogue. The Council promotes unity in diversity, fostering dialogue among Trinidad's many ethnic groups and building bridges between Caribbean and India. Now, so much for NCIC. Today I represent two organizations. I'm going to talk about the Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated. While the NCIC focuses broadly on culture, the Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated, established in 1987, 1 year after Diwali Nagar started, focuses particularly in the teaching and promotion of Hindi in Trinidad and now the Caribbean. We recently started working with other organizations in the Caribbean to promote Hindi. By the late 20th century, the original Bhojpuri dialects brought by Indian ancestors had evolved into what is now known as Trinidadian Hindustani. Sarita ji, you remember that? Or Caribbean Bhojpuri. However, as English became dominant, younger generations began losing touch with their linguistic roots. The Hindi Foundation emerged to revitalize the language and reconnect Indo-Trinidadians with the linguistic heart of the heritage, and key initiatives included. Now, we have formal Hindi instructions in Trinidad. The foundation offers structured Hindi classes at primary, secondary, and adult levels, using curricula aligned with Central Hindi Directorate and ICCR standards. The teaching and training and certification. The Hindi educates local teachers in Hindi and collaborates with Indian institutions to maintain linguistic authenticity. Through the efforts of the Indian High Commissioner and ICCR, hundreds of students received scholarships to study the language in India. During Prime Minister Modi visit to Trinidad recently, he announced the re-establishment of a Hindi chair at the University of the West Indies, and we in Trinidad do welcome that. Between Hindi and NCIC, I'm going to talk about the cultural integration. The foundation integrates Hindi learning with music, poetry, and drama. Recognizing that language and culture are inseparable, students often perform Hindi plays, yes, and recite poetry at NCIC events such as Diwali Nagar and others.